I had to put my other glasses on to be able to see tonight. Put my old big black rim glasses on. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, glad to have you in with us this afternoon. I hope that y'all all are having a great day today. Got Joey Kirby in the house with me. Joey, how you doing this afternoon, my friend?
Doing good, doing good. Just got home, Stacy, and ate me a bunch of wings. I'm doing great.
Yeah. Uh, what'd you eat? 2 or 3 pounds of them?
Made a good dozen or so, and probably six of those was great big old drums.
Yeah.
I had it's
Uh,
hard to put them down, man. I had to walk away, or I'd be here belching and uh, buffalo sauce coming out of my nose and ranch sauce behind my ears, so I had to get away from them.
we got Fan Seekers TV in here and John Patrick Jr., Dustin Hunter. How you doing, my friend? Here's Chad Bryant. What's up, Chad? Uh, Good to have you in here. Marty High Note, Timothy King. Hey, you won't believe who's tuned in with us. Big Bama Brian.
Big Bama Brian.
Yeah, Big Bama Brian, he's tuned in. I'm telling you, they just jumped in on this chat right here. Guys, we're going to ask you to do a couple of things for us this afternoon. We want you to be a part of this program. We want you to be able to interact with us. We try to keep up with everything. We try to keep up with everything that's being said and done. So if you got any questions, any certain topics, guys, we encourage you to please pop something in the chat bar right here. If you have any kind of thing, if you running a tournament or something, you can feel free to go in there and just put in the chat right there when your tournament is and the location of it, and put your information on there to for people to reach you. We don't mind that at all. Steve Stacy with Real Catnappers. He's in the house with us this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Steve, good to have you in. Larry Gross, guys, good to have y'all. I don't know what kind of weather it is where you at, Joey. I think I did tell you this morning. We've seen our first frost of the year this morning.
Yeah.
But it's still warmed up. Hey, I'm wearing t-shirts today, and I just come in from the outside. So when it gets cold here, I think you told me it was 28 this morning where you was at.
It was yesterday morning. It was 28. It wasn't much more warmer than that this morning, but it's been getting pretty close to 70 in the afternoon. So it's perfect, man. I can't stand this time change now. It's go to work at dark and get home at dark. And there's no basketball games that I can go to or nothing, man. So I think made my mind up. I'm gonna do some work on my boat and stuff here in the next few days and get it all cleaned up and do some stuff to it. So
We got Mike Mitchell. Mike, good to see you, man. Guys, if y'all looking for a good catfish guide and to catch some monster catfish, hey, Mike is the man.
he can
He's
do it.
located up there around North Alabama, fishes on the Tennessee River. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight, Mike. Guys, I don't know what everybody else has been doing, but here at the house, we went fishing this past weekend. We went Friday and Saturday. The river, we just caught a couple of both days. I mean, it was sort of tough. The river was up. I ain't gonna say it was up too bad, but it was really muddy, and it was flowing really, really good. I was out with Mike Presley, and we was sitting out there, and I was telling him. I think he asked me about. No, it wasn't him. Uh, it was Michael Hilliard asked me about fishing the Mississippi River, and it was rolling pretty good on the Alabama River. And I told him, I said, Michael, this ain't a drop in the bucket to the Mississippi River. Oh,
That Mississippi River is a different ball game. Speaking of our river was pretty up the last. Today's my second day on shift, so I fished Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the river's up here. I think we had about 2 mile an hour current. It was muddy, and Sunday when I went was probably one of the roughest days I've ever had out there, and it was it was sketchy. So the same conditions here. It was windy and muddy, and the river was up.
Hey, we got Edward Anderson with Tackle 22 Fishing. He's in the house with us this afternoon. We need to maybe sometimes look at trying to get him on our program with us. I know we've settled down. We don't have the third person on here as much as we used to. My internet service don't just sometimes will not keep up like it's supposed to. Adam Isaac says there's 100 people already here on Facebook watching us. Guys, again, we thank you for tuning in and appreciate y'all being a part of this program. Yeah, Edward, we may try to work this out, man, and get you in here and share a little bit about what's going on.
Charlie Seeger is wanting to talk a little bit about bumping reels. Charlie, I've had a couple of the low profile bumping reels. I like them, but I got a 6500 older model from Stacy. I don't really know what it's just a 6500, but it's an older gray silver reel. I put that on my Big Cat Fever bumping rod, and that thing right there to me is better than holds more line. Of course, I use 80-pound braid, but I like that 6500. Those low profile reels and stuff, to me, they just all I do anyways is just bump or let the line feed out. Just turn that 6500 dial down real low so that it'll sit there and feed with you. And that's probably the reel of my choice.
Yeah, Joey, that's a 6500 C3 is what that right there is.
Well, that's that one right there that I got from Stacy. To me, it's probably the lightest 60. I've got some of the blackout edition reels and stuff, and I think they're a little bit heavier. But that rod I got from him, I guess he said is a 6500 C3, and it's awesome. It's got a fast retrieve and lets that line out real easy, and it's real light.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, just get in touch with me, man. We can hook you up with that right there. I don't know why. I did see a guy up on Wheeler Lake today that was up there fishing. Joshua Rocko, man, he caught a couple big cat up there today on Wheeler Lake. Michael, here you. Good to see you, man. Good to have you tuned in. Me and him had the opportunity to go fishing, and I look forward to doing that again. Joey, David Adams is giving you trouble about that braid.
Hey, let me clarify that. I like that slime line, 40-pound line. I like it a lot. I'm just still getting used to that stretch. Bumping, it's until I have a problem with that braid, I'm gonna stick with it. But Stacy can vouch for me on this. I have started converting over to that slime line, and I'm just going to tell it like it is. It's just as tough as that 80-pound braid. I will vouch for that. So.
I know there's a big thing that goes on between the people fishing with braids, some people fish with a mono. Guys, I'm going to tell you this. It's just, to me, it just comes down to your preference. Mm-hmm. And guys, I'm going to tell you, if you're going to be bumping, you need braid on your rod and reel. If you want to be able to feel the bottom, you're not going to be able to do that with mono. That was one of the things when they come out with braid and bass fishing. One of the advantages of braid is the sensitivity of it. And not only that, but it is some strong stuff. I'm going to tell you, when you're just out trying to break it, it is really tough. Probably one of the downfalls to me with that braid is it just ain't quite as abrasion resistant as the mono. But the mono's got a stretch in it, and both of them have their pros and cons to them a little bit. But whichever you use is both of them's good stuff.
Since Stacy boosted that braid up for me a little bit, I'll boost that mono up. If you're fishing in rocks, stuff like that, by all means, use mono. If that's the conditions that you fish. Now, structure as far as sticks, trees, stuff like that. I like braid, and that mono, like I said, it's just it's neither here nor there really to me. It's just to be honest with you, I think I actually started out with mono, and I'd used braid for so long now that I had forgotten all about that stretch. But when I first time I used it again, sporting with slime line, you could ask Stacy. I was like, good night, you're gonna have to get these things unhung. And he of course he told me to take my earring out and put my purse and stuff down. So it's neither, either whatever. It's whatever's your preference.
Yeah. And, the people always ask me about my setup, and this, that, and other. I fish with 40-pound mono. That's what I fish with. I've never had not one bit of problem out of it. I know some people are, and I've landed some fish, a lot of fish over 70 pounds. And guys, that's why I've got 40-pound mono as my main line, and I run an 80-pound leader. If I didn't use that, I would run 60 or 80-pound braid with that 80-pound mono leader is what I would run. And I think I should. Hey, if you set the drag, I've got out here in my yard. I don't know if anybody else does this stuff or not, but I have tested, and I don't know what the drag poundage on a 6500 is, but I can lock my drag all the way down if I have to, and I have put it in my rod holders on my boat, and give about 15 foot of line, and I know I can pull drag out of my reel without breaking that line. But I don't even like to have it down that tight, and I always, if you with me, Joey, you've seen me a lot of times, man, I'll play with that drag the whole time I'm reeling a fish in.
I always check mine. Only thing I like it really, really, really tight is if you're fishing right above some crazy structure, because most people know as soon as they hit it, that's where they're going. They're going back to their home, which is in that structure. But most of the time, me and Stacy both do it. Fishing slow or something, when you first get out there, always, or especially after you get hung up and stuff, always grab it and make sure that it don't come out easy, but you gotta tug on it pretty hard. And Stacy, of course, Chad Bryant's just blowing me up in the comments over there about I won't be back flathead fishing at Gunnersville with braid no more. And Chad, you're correct. I won't. This hopefully, good Lord willing, Stacy and I will be back down there around that time this year, and I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be ready for it.
Oh yeah. If you watch us a lot of times, I think it was when we had Braden on there, and the other day when we had Troy with us. When we hook with a good fish, my first thoughts is you will see me reach around there and grab that reel in their hand, and I'm trying to get that drag, because when that fish makes his run, that's if I know I'm not around nothing and no tops or nothing. Hey, when he makes his run, I'm like, I want the fish to be able to take some line out. And,
that's what you wait on. That's what you're there for. That drag ripping. And Stacy, as well as I know, getting them fish. There's so many trips that you go out there that you're fishing for that fish. There's nothing in the world that you want in your mind is something going wrong with that line or something when you finally hook a big one. And that hook set right. You shouldn't have to sit there worried about if the equipment that you're using or the line you're using is going to fail you. It's just so many hours that go into that one or two fish, and when you catch them, you don't want to be hesitant or anything about it. You want to know that when they get hooked up, they're coming in the boat, or as Troy said, they're getting ready to get in that RNS SmackDown jail cell.
Hey, that tickled me, guys. If you're gonna hear me use this phrase, because we dipped one up the other day, and Troy was with us, and he says, "Boys, he ain't going nowhere now. He's in the SmackDown jail cell."
Well, it was funny, Stacy, because you was all over Troy, and that testified to your confidence in the equipment. When Troy was reeling that fish in, he was bearing down, and you was like, Troy, get him, pull it, get him over here, drag him over here, get him away from that. And Troy, I mean, he, not that he's a rookie by no means, but he really didn't know if that line was going to break or not. But you can, you can bulldog them somewhat with that if you know what the limits are on that line. But I remember I was sitting there filming him, watching his face, and he kind of looked at you like, this fish is beating me to death, and you're telling me to drag him over here. And that's good stuff.
Well, and I'm going to share one other thing, because I know people that, and this is one of the things that I've really never, I don't have much of this problem, and if I do, I always try to correct it. Joey, I think you've been off of me one time that I broke my line. Is that correct? Is that the only time I broke it on a fish?
Yes, sir. You talk about it every time we go.
Hey, but I left that day, and because I always make sure my drag and stuff's set, and I try to check my line, and I fished with a 50-pound leader at that time. And Joey, you remember that joker slammed it down, and I reached, and I do, man, I'll put the hammer down when I set the hook now. I mean, my thinking is, if that hook's going through the top of his, if it started to the top of his roof of his mouth, I'm fixing to put it on through there. And I hit that thing, and it come loose, and I thought to myself, well, I just missed him. And I reeled it up, and I was minus a hook. And I looked at Joey. I don't know if you remember what I told you. I said,
I know exactly what you said.
What did I say?
You said, this won't happen again. I'm stopping at Bass Pro Shops on my way home and getting me some
new And you remember you called me and said, what you doing? I said, I'm in Bass Pro Shop. And I've just moved from 50-pound leader to 80-pound.
He did.
And I've not had.
And Stacy, with that, I think of course it's a mind thing, but you had to have a nick or something in that line, or that fish or something scarred that line, or that 40-pound leader or 50-pound leader is extreme,
Yeah. And people ask me, why the 80-pound is because I did in 40-pound or 50-pound would hold him, no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But when I went to 80-pound, my thinking is this line can take a nick or two and still have enough left there that it's still strong as the 40 or 50-pound. Do you see what I'm talking about?
I do, Stacy. And I've started using some of this the slime line that put out the heavy cover leader line. It's a 80-pound. I'm almost sure it's either 80 or 100-pound. And the thing that I was so hesitant about a thicker leader line was the knots. A lot of that stuff, the thicker stuff, to me, you couldn't get a good snell knot. So, but that heavy cover Big Cat Fever slime line, that thing, I've been using it, and it clenches good. So that's the thing that I've been so hesitant about the other brands, is the thicker the line, the thicker it is to tie that knot. Stacey, there's a few questions. One of these fellas here said that for the beginner, can you give some a beginner? I believe it was about drifting. Some secrets for some tips on the beginner drift fishing.
This is what we do, and I will tell you and let me go back to this one more time before we get on the drift fishing. Back to the line and on the drag, guys. I want to share this, that you do not forget to do this. It's something that I do. I don't know if anybody else does or not, but when your drag is set correctly, you shouldn't be able to break no 40-pound line. I think what happens a lot of times, Joey, you've seen this, and a lot of these other guys that's on here have seen it. When you hang your line up and you have pulled and put on it, you get that line wedged, and it gets hung down in there. You catch a fish, you got your drag, and you notice ain't nothing coming out. If I know you've done it, I do it. I reach and snatch it, and trying to pull that drag loose to sort of break it loose to make sure my drag is moving. So guys, if you catch a fish, I know by the feel of what's in my hand and my rod bending over, once it gets so much pressure on it, I'm like, hey, I want something to start slipping here.
Yeah.
Unless I'm fishing in tops or something like that, where I just got what I call bully dog him out of there, then that's just what you got to do. But if I've got him out in the open, hey, I'm wanting him to start taking some drag. So if it ain't moving, try to back it off. If it still don't move, reach and just grab your hand around the line right there in front of the reel and snatch it to get it started. Because sometimes your drag is just hung up or your line's done got wedged up a little bit and it just needs to get started good.
Yeah, I agree. That's what you want to feel that fight. So if you do hook a good one, set that drag and let him do his thing. I got a bad habit of doing it, probably more so than I should. When I hook a good fish, you can ask Stacy. I'll just sit there and hold it. Just keep that line tight and let him do his thing. Initially, the first 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, he's going to usually wear himself out pretty good. But let him do his thing. Don't bulldog him. There's so much time that goes in to feel that.
Yeah, and just sit there and enjoy it. Hey, I've been off with some guys, and man, they get a big one and they just want to go to winch. And I'm like, man, just sit here and enjoy it. Just sit here and enjoy it. Yeah. And it's like you said.
That's the instinct, But when you have the right equipment, that fish is not going anywhere.
You got the right equipment, got him hooked good. Back to the drifting, and there's 2 things that I really call myself that I do, and that's drag baits and anchor. That's if you see me fishing, that's what I'm doing. And if I could give anything, we do some suspended. I don't know whether he was talking about suspended baits or just dragging
it again, but it was drifting. Just some techniques of the beginner drifting is probably my technique would be to drop it down to the bottom, reel it up a couple of cranks, go 0.3 to 0.8 mile an hour, and every 2 or 3, 4 minutes, click your button and let it hit the bottom again and reel it up a couple cranks. That's the key to me, is keeping it down around the bottom.
Let me answer this right here, Joey, this question, because let me go back, let me find it. I'm trying to get to it. By the time I get on it,
I did the same. And Stacy, what you were saying, when that line digs in there, if you don't do it, the next time you throw out, you'll remember that line was sunk in there, because the guts in your bait is going to fly out.
It goes to flying one way, don't it? Mike Russell asks us, why heavier leader than the main line? This is my personal preference and my opinion about this. That last 2 foot on my line is the piece that's going to take all the abuse. I call it the business end. That's where everything happens at. If it's gonna break, it's gonna break down there in that last 1 foot or 2 where this catfish's mouth has been up there around it. He spins, his fins get hung in it. And I'm gonna tell you, I want to think that probably a lot of times one of the things that I really hate, and a lot of these guys on here has felt it, and you know what I'm talking about, is when you got that big fish on and you can feel him up on the boat rolling, and he done got twisted up in your line, and you can just feel him sitting there spinning. If you reach and grab a hold to the back of that fin, it's sort of serrated like. And guys, I'm telling you, that little smaller line, it can cut that. So I like that bigger line because it's around the limbs, it's around the rocks, it's around the fins, it's around that fish's mouth, and it's just able to take a whole lot more beating and abuse than your main line does.
Stacy, I think like a lot of people do. I've always used 80-pound braid with the 50-pound leader. That's just was my preference, because I always used to think, I'll keep my sinker and lead and stuff on this 80-pound braid. Then I'll go to a 3-way swivel. Then I'll go to my to my hook. Usually I use a Carolina rig when I'm anchor fishing, or sometimes I'll throw that bobber rig. But I always used to think, well, if I get hung up, I want my lead back, I'll break that 50-pound leader because I got an 80-pound main line. Well, you need to look at it the opposite way. If I have a 50, like Stacy, he uses a 40-pound main line with 80-pound leader line. Well, what's that big old fish going to be on? It's going to be on that 80-pound leader line with that. So it's like he said, the diameter and stuff of it's so much thicker. So it all, it's according to how you think about it. But if you're going to lose your stuff, you're going to lose your stuff. We get 10% off of all of Dale's weights. So when we need 100 pounds of weight, Dale just sends it to us. So.
Hey, Joey, let's stop right here. Let's stop. Dale's giving us trouble. He says that we done blocked all them troublemakers like him. I think he's wanting to give away something tonight.
Well,
And, I think I seen in the post. Did he text you or anything? If he don't text me and let me know.
I'm going to tell you what I normally do. I wait for him to go to work, and I'll call KK, and she normally just gives me the green light and says, just give it. You heard that George Strait song, Just Give It Away?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've got the official. He sent me a text. I just didn't see it. Listen to this right here, right now. He says in my text, he wants to give away some
pliers.
We're gonna give away a pair of pliers, and let's give away a pack of. We're gonna give away a couple packs of hooks. So let's go ahead right now, and let's hold the pliers a little bit later. Let's give this away right now, and let's do a 2-pack of 10 giveaway of hooks to Dale's tackle, and we'll go with that. All right.
All right. Stacy, while you're drawing the winner, Larry Gross, the way that I set that rig up, buddy, is there's really not a wrong way. If there's from the way that I see that you have yours about 18 inches or so, that's about how I do mine. Just switch it up. If you're dragging 3 different rods, switch one shorter, one about 16 inches, switch it up, and normally they'll let you know. To me, Stacy uses his just a little bit shorter than I do mine, but there's no rhyme or reason to me. Just what, you got to mix it up.
Hey, let's go right here now. Let's give away the 2-pack of hooks. I think it's going to be 2 packs. Let's give them both of them to the same person here. We'll come back and give the things to then we'll do the pliers. Hey, and I've just got a text. You don't want to miss this, guys. You don't want to miss out. I've just got a text from Charles Crook, the owner of Meat Hunter Rods, and you ain't going to believe what he wants to give away. A Meat Hunter Pro. So, guys, we're going to give away a rod here in just a little bit. So you better get on the chat.
Do you know the Edward Anderson?
I know of him. Yeah, I don't know in person, but I do know what you're talking about.
He said he's wanting to, on our next giveaways, he's wanting to give away a Tackle 22 fishing hat. So, hey, let me throw this in there real quick, people, or everybody that's tuned in. Stacy and I have talked about this a couple of times, and we trust everybody on here. But if something happens and you don't get something that somebody's gave out, get a hold of me and Stacy or something, and we'll make it right with you. But some of this stuff we can't guarantee. But we haven't really ran into any problems yet, so to say. But if there, I know the fellow that won the line last week, we did let him know prior that the shipment was coming in, and we would get it to him as soon as it got here. And our word's good for anything that we do on this show. So just to let you know.
Hey, I got it right here. The winner of the Dale's tackle hooks is this guy right here. I'm fixing to pop his name up. Shawn Shelton. Shawn, you are the winner of the Dale's tackle hooks. Send me a message on Messenger, and we're going to make sure that you get that right there. Hey, let's go ahead while we're here. Hey guys, you don't want to miss out on this right here. We got some stuff. People done stepped up here, and we done talked catfishing, and man, let's go ahead. I hope you in this chat, you putting SDC in here because we fishing a giveaway. Let's go ahead and do the, I tell you what, I'm going to stop right here. I'm fixing to give away a SmackDown catfishing hat along with a SmackDown t-shirt. That's going to be the next thing we're fixing to do. So guys, if you're in the chat, we fixing to give away a SmackDown catfishing hat and a SmackDown t-shirt as a pair. So pop this in your chat right here, and we're fixing to grab a name and number. Go ahead, Joey.
Stacy, also, in case y'all are under a rock, Stacy come out with some white SmackDown rod holders, limited edition. It's not just talk. There is a limited edition. Matthew Miles put them on his boat, and I'm telling you, if y'all hadn't seen them, if you like the clean look, you want them white SmackDown rod holders, and they are. I talked to Stacy the other day about them, and they're moving along. So if you want some of them white ones, you better get them quick because they're not going to last real long, and they are legit a limited edition, and they're sweet.
Give me just a second.
Stacy, I'm trying to see some stuff in chat, man, but all I see is SDC, and I've been scrolling up for a minute solid.
Well, they want to win something. We got to listen. We got this rod we fixing to give away, guys. This is a high price rod. I mean, it's top of the line.
Hey, Stacy, and Edward Anderson said he wants to give away that Tackle 22 hat, buddy.
Well, we fixing to give it away next.
Steve Cardell, use 5 rods, mix them all up, man. You gotta have a variety out there. It's like you got to find out what they want, and sometimes, man, it's just a little bit of something. Don't repeat this, but fishing's about a lot like women. You never know, man, what they. just a little good morning or a smile or a wink or something can totally change everything. So you gotta mix it up.
Hey, SmackDown hat and shirt. Hey, Michael Creech, contact me, and I am going to get this to you. Y'all can contact me on Facebook Messenger. Guys, I prefer y'all to contact me on my Stacy Gaston Messenger page. But if you don't have it, you can go to SmackDown CatFishing and contact me there. But I just prefer you do it on my Stacy Gaston page. I can keep up with it a little bit better. So, Michael, you just contact me, drop me your address and stuff, and tell me you're the winner of the SmackDown hat and shirt, and I'll get back in touch with you on that right there. Let's go with the Edward Anderson. And let's do.
I think he's one. I think he's I guess he's got a page, Tackle 22. I need to check him out, but it's Tackle 22. Edward Anderson was his name.
Yeah, I've seen him on here.
Okay.
He wants to give away a hat.
That's
so, guys,
what I'm saying.
We fixing to do this right here. Let's go ahead and take care of this.
Hey, Edward Anderson said, Stacy, those white rod holders are prettier than my prom date was.
Hey, can I say this? Edward, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I'm going to end up getting in trouble from the comment that I made, and I'm just poking fun. But in all seriousness, you got to don't be afraid to mix it up, because there's a couple. You could switch that thing up 6 or 8 inches or a foot, and start getting all over them. I prefer it longer to me, because it seems like it don't get hung up as much. It's back further away from that weight. A lot of times that weight is what I get pride or something. So just give it a little slack, and a lot of times it'll come off. But that's why I prefer it longer.
Yeah. And let me go back to add something to this, Joey. What you're talking about. One of the things I've never liked when I'm fishing or especially dragging baits is every rig to be exactly alike. Just my personal preference. I would encourage anybody if you're fishing with 6 rods and reels. And sometimes, Joe, I don't know if I've ever said this, but I know I have mine fixed up, and I look over at you and I ask you, what'd you catch that one on, or what kind of bait you fishing with over there? Because I want to try to get to know what we got out there, that we ain't all got the same length leader out there, whether it be long or short. We ain't all fishing with a head out there, which most of the time we're not. Most time I got the head, but it does make a difference because you're catching one on a certain thing, and you're like, what's different about this and then the rest of them?
Size
Once you catch 2 or 3 fish.
Anything. Also, Stacy, I've seen this in here a time or two, and I hate to forget it. They are having the Christmas for Kids tournament this Saturday at Decatur. If any of y'all are free or anything, I think Edmund is kind of over that, or he's got a group there that's doing that. It's for a great cause, and I believe it's 100% for the kids in that area, and that's awesome.
Hey, Lucas Gibson, you are the winner of the hat from Tackle 22. Contact me, and I'll make sure you get that to you. Who put that post on there about the Christmas for Kids thing? Do you remember?
Brian Mears, Meares.
I'm trying to keep up with it, but so many people coming through. I was going to post it up here.
Yeah.
But guys, y'all make sure that is this weekend. Where was they launching from, Joey?
It says in Decatur, and I've been watching. I think the fishing there should be on. I know bait is pretty plentiful. If you have problems getting bait, holler at Edmund. I think he's the one that's kind of mainly putting it on. He'll take care of you. And Casper McConnell, yes, sir. Dale's Tackle does have the Kirby float rigs. Yes, sir.
All right. What else we see here in chat?
I'm just now getting down through there, Stacy.
Hey, if you're
Lucas Gibson, holler at Edward Anderson, send him your address, and he will take care of you. Hey, Edward, thank you much. Appreciate it.
He just sent it to me, and I'll forward it there to you, Edward, if he ain't already done that.
All right.
Guys, if you're interested in the Christmas for Kids event fishing, you can contact, Joey made this mention, you can contact Edmund Crowder. Get a hold of him. I think there may be a couple more people that's involved helping put this on, but I do know that Edmund can get you headed in the right direction on this Christmas for Kids. So if you're in that area looking to fish a tournament, I know they'd be much appreciated.
They are, and it'd be a good time. And you never know when you hit that stretch of that body of water down in there, because there's hogs. And there's a few people asking about the hooks. I use a 12-aught Dale's Tackle circle hook. Stacy uses the 10-aught Mad Catter hook, XHD, I think. I've heard him say it enough. Dale's Tackle has got all of that stuff in stock. Mark Keeter, the bait that Stacy and I always use, 99.9% of the time is skipjack. And every once in a while, Stacy will tie a big bluegill or a shad on, but most of the time we use skipjack.
That right there is the hook that I run right there. This is not the XHD. This is just the HD Mad Catter. It is a Kale's type hook with the barb bent back in just very slightly. If you use this hook right here, you can set the hook with this. If you have a tendency to want to set the hook, you can do this. I think that Nooner Hall was using these right here to start with. He had called me, asked me how to do it, and he was missing some fish or something other. And what I always do is I let him load that pole up, and when that thing gets loaded up, I'm gonna load him up. And Joey can tell you, just get out of the way. I'm fixing to set the hook on him.
just step back and watch him is all I can say. Hey, Stacy, Marty Bardo, we did mention last week of that St. Jude's tournament. He said they raised $3,500 for the kids at St. Jude's, and they appreciate it. And that's awesome.
Yes, thank y'all so much for your support, and Marty and the guys who helped, all the folks that put that right there on. Thank y'all. It goes to a great cause.
Big Blue Hunters on the hunt, he says, Stacy.
The Big Blue Hunter.
Big Blue Hunters on the hunt.
Let's do this right here. Let's go ahead while we're here. We done give away a hat and a shirt from SmackDown CatFishing. Michael Creech has got that. A pack of hooks to Shawn Shelton from Dale's Tackle. Tackle 22 hat was Lucas Gibson.
Yes, sir.
Make sure. Let's go ahead now before we close the program out. We've got a meat hunter. Let me look right here. I'm fixing to tell y'all what I'm fixing to give away. We've got a big game pro. So this right here is from Meat Hunter Rods. So if you got SDC, I tell you, if you got SDC, do you ever need to go back to SDC or make them put Rod in there to see who we still got in here?
Stacy, they rolling. It's rolling like the Price is Right wheel. It's SDC.
SDC. We can stick him with that, guys. So
isn't it the Price is Right where they do that wheel?
And they spinning it right now.
This chat's rolling like the Price is Right reel.
Well, we fixing to give it away.
Dwayne Richardson, I got some. You just holler at me, buddy, and I'll let you try some of them circle hooks. Now, all of y'all that use them circle hooks, don't set the hook because you're gonna hate circle hooks if you do. Just reel down on them. If you use them hooks like Stacy's talking about, that's more hands-on. You let her rip. But circle hooks, they do all the work. So keep that in mind. I know. I don't know everything, but I do know if you grab that rod and jerk, most of the time you're gonna miss them fish with them circle hooks. It's not the circle hook's fault. It's more you got to let them do the work. And Stacy, they're SDCing like crazy.
They going with it, ain't they? I've got the winner with it. I've got it. I've done got it. So I'm fixing to pop it in here.
Stacy, while you're popping it in there, Mark Justin wants to know what's your favorite landing net. So I'll let you answer that.
Hey, I've got a RS SmackDown edition. I run the Solo Slimer. I did have the Catfish one, and the Catfish one is a good one. And I know I've dipped up 70 pounders with it. I did switch over and go to the Solo Slimer. It's the next size up with from that. The RS nets are really heavy duty nets, and I like the extendable pole to them, the handle that goes with them. To me, it really comes in really nice when you back on the back of the boat and you're trying to get that fish one more foot. I mean that extendable handle, you can just reach right on there and get him.
Now, Stacy, the one that you just got, I know when I talked to the fella, the RS net, they come out with a 1 inch diameter that netting and I do know for the people that fish the Mississippi and the crazy current, when I spoke to the fella, they was coming out with a 2 inch hole. So the current and stuff will go through your net a whole lot easier. So check them nets out. They are like Stacy said, they even have a 32 or 34 inch measuring deal that it expands out in that net, and they are really, really nice. They're USA made. I believe they're made in Ohio.
Yeah, they made here in the USA.
They're good people.
One thing that I've tried to do, and everything now, I can't help maybe where some T-shirts is come from, the T-shirt itself, but everything you get off of my website, the landing nets, everything we have made is made right here in the USA. It ain't bought in from China nowhere. I know some of the stuff maybe a little bit higher than what other people. We try to make sure we dealing with people that's making our stuff here in the USA. Hey, I've got. Hey, and let me say this before I put the winner of the rod up. This right here is a Meat Hunter Pro, and I'm gonna tell you, this right here is a good rod. Um, I just lost my train of thought, Joey.
They
I
are
know what
good
it is.
guys.
No,
I've seen Stacy. I've seen him whip. I'm telling you now, Stacy might want to close his ears, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Stacy and I's pretty good buddies, and we both got broad shoulders. If something's junk, it's not gonna last long on Stacy's boat. Hey, as my daddy used to tell me, he'd tear up a junkyard. Hey, them rods are they're tough.
Joe, you know what I tell people?
And he's never broke a rod that I've seen. So, and I'm telling you, it's not from a lack of trying.
Joe, you know what I tell you, and you're right. I said, if this joker can survive me, it can survive anything.
Hey, he's been married to Dom for years, and he's told me some good stories, and he ain't ran her off yet. But I haven't. Them rods are nice. The quality, and the way they look, they're sharp.
Hey, I know what I was gonna do. We're going to give away a RS net here one night. So, guys, you're going to have your opportunity to win a RS net. I don't know when it's going to come, but I'm telling you, it's coming.
They're kind of newer in the catfish game, but I'm telling y'all, and like Stacy and I talk about this all the time, the nets are expensive. They are expensive, but you can go to Bass Pro or anywhere and spend $75 on a net. These nets right here are prime nets. They're the cream of the crop.
And this guy, you can call him. It ain't like you can't. I mean, Hey, you have a problem, pick up the phone. He lives right here in America where they made that. You can call him, and I'm telling you, he'll stand behind his stuff.
He's good. I had a conversation with him, and he's a great guy. Very, very wants to hear input. So,
all right, Joey, here it comes. I'm fixing to pop it up here. The winner of the rod right here, the Meat Hunter Pro, Johnny Rainey. Johnny, if you would, get in touch with me, and we'll make sure this right here get you the address to Charles Crook. I know he's probably been waiting around thinking, are they going to ever give my rod away? Johnny, congratulations. Guys, it's so good to have each one of y'all tuned in with us tonight.
Somebody popped up in here, and I hate not saying it as soon as I see it, because our minds, me and Stacy's minds about alike. We're catching 1 minute, and then left field, and next thing you know, we're in the parking lot and in the stands eating peanuts. Thank you, all these people. That give away stuff on here. We don't. It's just it's awesome for them people to jump in there and start giving stuff away for these people in the chat. And we can't thank you all enough. We appreciate it. It's awesome. Me and Stacy, tonight, we started out the show. We didn't have nothing to give away, and almost the show was full of giveaways. So we appreciate y'all so much. And I know the people in the chat appreciate you also, because they sure are tuned in.
Yeah.
In the rain, rainy.
That's him. Guys, so good to have y'all in here. I want to thank everyone was able to, all these guys that stepped up and donated some things this afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I know I've enjoyed being in here, just being a part of the chat, talking with you, sharing a few details, sharing a few little things of what to do, what not to do on your drag and your line and stuff. And so I hope you grabbed a little bit of that right there, and maybe we tried to explain ourselves of why we use what we use and what we do. Joe, anything you got to say before we get out of here tonight?
Not so much. Just thanks again to everybody that and Stacy and I are both open to suggestions. If there's anybody in the catfishing game that you want to hear techniques from or what they do, there's a lot of people that's more than happy to come on here and if we could do anything that the people that's in chat and stuff want to see, or any questions they have. And thanks again to everybody that tunes in, and thanks to the people that do the giveaways. It's awesome.
Yeah, it sure is. And we enjoy it. I enjoy being a part of this. Listen, God bless y'all. I want y'all to be in prayer for our country, for our leaders, and everything that's going on here. Just pray God's blessings upon y'all. May you have a hedge of protection about you to watch over and protect you from any harm or danger, or sickness or disease over your families and over your sons and your daughters. May y'all have a blessed week this week, and may the favor of the Lord continually to be upon you in the mighty name of Jesus. We'll see y'all next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. God bless you.